Well, I wanted to just go through the technique a little bit. I use AutoCAD to model these animals. Oh, and by the way, all the backing tracks on this video are some guitar playing that I recorded back in the day, back when I had all of my fingers. So enjoy that. That was as good as I ever got at doing this kind of thing. I now play a little differently. Well, let's take a look at the CAD before I get started with the build here. I use AutoCAD. I've been working with AutoCAD since the early 90s. And right here we're looking at the three judges that I've got modeled up, and this video is about the elephant. And the elephant is very iconic and took me about a year to draw. I have many different versions. Well, I figured out the form I wanted and the flow of the facetry, how all the intersections line up is a big part of the character. So those are subtle changes, and around I went until I had finally settled on this version, and then I had to figure out how to actually build it. And that involved figuring out a frame to wrap the plates around. These plates are pretty floppy until they're all connected together, so I needed something to kind of drape them around. And that's what I did there. And there were a few other things with the elephant that mattered. For it to transport, the tusks needed to be removable. And I have a transport pack going on over here. And you can see that the elephant's tusks are going to get in the way and stick out beyond the legal width of a trailer. And in general, it's pretty tight. So I made those removable, and I ended up using basically like a trailer hitch type technology. And then there's a whole painful process where you have to figure out like how to account for all the interferences. My models are perfectly zero thickness, but as soon as you start to extrude the plates, you'll find that they interfere anytime that they bend toward each other. So I've got a technique for figuring that out. It's just graphic. To try and calculate everything would be a lot of work because every angle is different, so I just do it visually. Once that's all accounted for, then I've got to unfold them into files that I can use to feed to the plasma cutter. And that's the last step, and that's figuring out how the pieces are all going to fit together, where the interferences happen, getting them all adjusted, and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of work, but it's my technique, and well, let's get to it. Turn off this fan. I got the tusk receivers tacked in, and was thinking how great it was all going, and then I put these diagonals in and realized that I had problems. I had not checked to see if these plates were square to this tube before I started tacking everything together. And it takes a second to tack and just a whole hour to untack it all. So I had to cut out almost all the tacks so that it could float this way. And I've got it held under tension. But it's impressively taller than me. I've never made an animal sculpture that I had to use a ladder to get to the top of. And yeah. And everybody who's waiting for me to make stuff for them, I apologize. I've been doing my best. We're just in the vortex of summer now. Look, I got that light working. See, I didn't get your projects done, but I did put a light bulb in this saw, and that made a big difference in my life. Okay. So there, I did it. I have all of elephant paths. So there they all are, ready for the feeding into the plasma software. So that is the thumbs up, and good job right hand, that was a lot of work. Well, I'm trying my best to not die of heat stroke. So I've got the container getting a bath here. Just try and knock the edge off the temperatures because I'm in here. Cutting and grinding these big elephant parts. Of course, they're just a little too big to get off of the 4x4 table. So I'm having to cut and shift and all that fun stuff. But mostly it's just really, really hot. It's so hot. It's so hot. And now, I'll quit bitching. Phew. I'm trying to bend all these up before I put them together so I don't have to fight them as much because they're so big. So I've been just getting them all bent to the right angle, or approximately, measuring diagonals. Some were a little weird, the cuts came out funny, but just one tack, so it's easy to take apart one that doesn't quite work. You know, things are lining up pretty good. There's a little weirdnesses going on here, especially right here. So I'm gonna go home and eat some breakfast and walk the dogs and do something else. But that's something.
Pajama wearing day.
Pajama day on the dog walk.
Another day on the dog walk in pajamas. On dinosaur Converse. I'm pretty sure that's his pajamas.
Come on, Spike.
This is the thing at the bottom.
got some targets that I'm not meeting. So I've been sticking crossbars in to keep the middle as wide as it needs to be and squeezing on it up top. I'm trying to get that to line up with that. Ditto.
Plunger. Alright, Stogie, watch out. He's coming from the 3 o'clock.
Let's go.
He's coming from 3 o'clock.
Let's go.
Stogie, over. He's got moves. He knows the strong points. Under big heavy metal.
You better keep that plunger, you're gonna need it.
Wow. The dog trainer within is really coming out. He's chasing him. It was like an episode of Tops.
Well, once I cut out that cross member that was wrong, everything went together reasonably well. I was just hung up on a preconceived notion that was incorrect. It's amazing how much time that can consume. And spent the rest of the day cutting out all the panels for the legs so I can get those together tomorrow, or at least a couple of them. Because the elephants just got to get done, and that was a solid 12-hour push, and now I'm going to go home and check in on the dogs. Just need the head. Okay, so we're making eyeballs. I think that's good. So I'm using these hemispheres I got from King Architectural Metals, and then so starting with the blank here, and weld this to where it's kind of centered over the eyeball there, and then once that's welded on, flip it over, and using my new press here. Thank you, Burning Man, for buying me a shop press. I've been my whole life without one, and it came all the way from China. Anyway, it works great. So I got the air. I like the air kind, so you don't have to pump the handle a bajillion times. So I'll set up a time lapse here, and you can watch me do this. So here's the elephant all tacked up. It was a push today, but got that head all figured out. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, but then I just started and didn't stop until I had it. So pretty exciting. Next up is finish weld the head and the legs and the neck and whatnot, and then I think I'm going to play with this eye a little bit. I feel like the bottom lid is a little too pronounced. Maybe get some more up here. So maybe I'm gonna sleep on it. No, not on the elephant, but there you go. So I'm just painfully going through and welding up all these little intersections, just little dib-dabs of weld. Working my way down this side from up there, and then of course I'll have to grind it all. But in between, I'll try to do other tasks because that one's just terribly monotonous. Made this new eye that's got a less of a lower lid and more of an upper lid, and kind of maybe looks a little better. We'll find out. Maybe get up there and cut that one out and tack that one in. But first things first, I have a lot of this welding to go. I've got the rest of this leg, that whole back leg, the head, that whole side. Takes forever. I made a access hatch so you can get inside. It's kind of fun in there. And on a more personal note, I've been welding on the feet and getting underneath it, and balls of molten goodness have been falling on me. And I had one go through my shirt and through my pants and through my shirt and through my underwear and burn me on the left testicle. So now I found Barley's old apron. It's fun, but not that much fun. Anyway, so now I'm in pain a little bit, not too bad, and just going to keep going. Look at all this stuff I have left to weld up. All right. Anyway, I was able to back up. Let's go see how I did. Oh boy, I feel terrible. Okay. Man. I think that's about as close as you can get. Because what's on the other side here? Ugh. Yeah, I don't think I can get much further back in here. I just have to carry it. I mean, I guess I could move it back a little further, but who cares? Maybe I need the exercise. Alright, well, let's see if we can hyperlapse this. Wait, what happened to the elephant? Oh no. The elephant's gone. It's because I pushed her outside. Made a little cart for her. I just got to the point where I needed a break. There's a bunch of grinding left to do, and I still have to finish the tail, but she's out because I have some other stuff I have to get done, as much as I want to just keep doing elephant. So if you are ever going by Ellisford, stop in, pay her a visit. We'll be hanging out.